Hello everyone. In this video we're going to discuss about interface. This is an extension of the previous video. If you haven't watched the previous video, please do watch it right now. So let's get started. So first of all, before starting, let's understand what an interface is. An interface is nothing but it is a collection, or you could call it as a group of abstract methods. Abstract method is the method without any body. If you are not aware of what abstract method is, I've made a video on that. Please do check it out. So if you have to create this particular interface, you need to use the keyword interface. So it's like this, interface, and then let's say the name of the interface is shape. So I've created an interface. Now inside this, let's create an abstract method. Let's say void volume. So I'm just creating a method in order to calculate the volume of a particular shape. So volume, inside that we have int length and then int breadth. Int length, int breadth, and int height. Since it's an abstract method, you don't need to put any sort of body for this particular method. Now we have created an interface called as shape. The next thing which we're going to do is we're going to implement that. Implement the interface. So let's create a class called as, say, rectangle, and then implements shape. So now you might get confused by looking at this particular keyword implements. What does that mean? So why do we use implements? If we have to inherit an interface by using a class, we use the keyword implements. Now let's put this public void. You want to calculate the volume, so volume, then int l comma int b comma int h, the length, breadth, and height. Nothing. What we are doing here is we are just using this particular method which we have created inside the interface. So after that, let's simply put a print statement. Let's say the area of rectangle is length into breadth into height. Yes. So what we have done here is we have used the particular method, the abstract method which we've created inside the interface. Now let's get back to the main method and let's create an object. Let's say rectangle object1 equals new rectangle, and let's use the object1 dot volume, and let's give the dimensions. Let's say 12 comma 34 comma 15. We gave some random dimensions. Now if you run the program, you could see here the area of the rectangle is 6120. Okay, I haven't given any gap over here. Now if I run this particular program again, it has given the gap here. You could see 6120. I've done nothing here. I've created an interface. Wait, let me put the comment. Created an interface, and then after that I've implemented the particular abstract method. This is the abstract method abstract method. Abstract method is nothing but a method without any body. So I've implemented this particular abstract method here inside the class called as rectangle. And why did we use this keyword implements? In order to inherit the particular interface using a class. Using a class, if you have to inherit any interface, then you have to use the keyword implements. And after that, we have implemented the particular abstract method. Here you could see L into B into H. This is the volume of a rectangle. Since we have chose rectangle here, so this is the volume. And after that, coming back to the main method, we've created an object of this particular class, and then we have used this particular method by giving the parameters. Then what happened? After we gave the parameters, it has gone here and it has gone into these particular parameters, and then whatever is present inside this particular method that has got executed, and we got the output, which is L into B into H. So by now you might have understood what the inheritance means and what is the keyword inheritance does and what this particular keyword implements does. So till now we've only checked the implementation of a single inheritance, not inheritance, interface. Now let's check out how multiple interfaces work. So for that I'm removing everything, and let's create an interface A. Inside this, let me put void print. It's an abstract class. And then let's create an interface B. And inside this, I'm gonna put a method called as void prints. So what I've done here, I've created two interfaces. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a class called as C, which inherits both the interfaces, A, B. Now inside this particular class, we need to implement both the abstract methods which we've created. So for that, public void print. Inside this, let's print the message hey, and public void prints, and inside this, let's print the message hello. So we've created two interfaces. Inside those interfaces, we have two abstract classes. We have created a class called as C, and we've inherited both the methods, and then we've used those both abstract classes. This is what we did till now. Now, the next thing which we're gonna do is, inside the main method, let's create an object. C object1 equals new object. No. C object1 equals new C. So we've created an object, and let's call those particular methods. So it is object1.print and object1.prints. Now, if I run this particular program, you could see we got the result. So what have I done here? Let me summarize everything. So I've created two interfaces, and they have two abstract methods. Abstract method is the ones which doesn't have any body, and then we've created a class and inherited both the interfaces, and then we have used those both abstract methods which we have created, and then inside the main method we've created an object, and we have called those particular methods using the object, and there we go, we got the result. So by this you might have understood how multiple inheritance in interface works. So let's check out how can we inherit an interface using another interface. So for that, I'll again remove everything. Here also I'm gonna remove everything. Now let's create an interface called as A, and inside this let's put void print, just like before. I removed it again so that it doesn't create any sort of confusion. Again, interface B extends. So in order to inherit an interface using another interface, we use the keyword extends. It's simple. If you have to inherit a class from another class, you use the keyword extends. If you have to inherit an interface from another interface, you use the keyword extends. But if you have to inherit an interface using a class, then you use the keyword implements. So interface B extends A, and void prints. Now class C implements B. So B has inherited A. Now I'm using a class called as C, and I'm inheriting this particular interface B. C, then public void print. Again, we're doing the same thing. Hey, and here public void prints, and sorry, let's print hello. So here, let's check what we've done. So we've created an interface A and we've created an interface B. What this B is doing is it is inheriting A. And then we've created a class called C, and we've only inherited this particular interface B because it is already inheriting interface A. So we need not again inherit this particular interface. So we've inherited this particular interface B, and then we have used both the abstract methods present in both the interfaces, as you could see here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create an object. C object1 equals new C, and then use the object in order to call those particular methods. So object1 dot prints and object1 dot object1 dot print. Now, if I run this particular program, it has printed hello, hey. Then we got the values. Again, I'm repeating what I've done. I've created an interface A. Inside that, I have an abstract method, and I've created an interface B, which is inheriting A, and inside that, we have an abstract method. I've created a class, and I've inherited this particular method, particular interface B, and then what I've done is I've used both the abstract methods. I've kept two print statements inside them, and I've created an object here. Sorry. Oh, it's not scrolling properly. Okay, so I've created an object here, and then I've called those methods using that particular object, and we got the result. Now, let's check out. Let me remove all this first. And this too. Yeah. After the update of Java 8, what they have done is inside the interface, we can put a method with a body, but that has to be a default method. So let's check that out. Till now, we've discussed that interface is only, collection of abstract methods, but we can also put a method with a body. Let's check what that is. Let's go back to the previous first example, interface shape. And inside this, normally I'll create a method called, let's say, get shape. This is an abstract method, and the other method which I'm going to create, we need to put the keyword default void, let's say text. Inside this, I'm gonna do nothing but just a print statement which says this is a default method. After this, I'll create a class called as rectangle. I'm doing everything just like did before. Rectangle implements shape. Inside this, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the particular abstract method public void get shape. Get shape is nothing but we're just giving the name of that particular shape. So let's say it is a rectangle. Simple method. Okay, again, let's check what we've done. We've created an interface, and inside that we've created one abstract method. Again, I'm putting comment so that it's not confusing. Here, this is an abstract method, and we have added a default method too. Default method is a method with a body. Abstract method is a method without any body. So here we have the default method, default void, and the name of the method is text. Okay, and after that, we've created a class called rectangle, and we have inherited this particular interface shape using the keyword implements. After that, we have used this particular abstract method here. I mean, you could see we have kept a print statement inside this particular method. Now, this is what it should be. I did something else. So object one dot, the first one is get shape, and object one dot text. First, we've created an interface, and then we have an abstract method, then we have the default method, and then we have used this particular abstract method, then we have created an object for this particular class rectangle, and we called both of those methods. Now if I run this particular program, you could see it has printed both the statements. It is a rectangle and this is a default method. Both of them got printed. And one more last time, let me summarize everything. I think I've summarized this so many times, and some of you might feel boring, but still, I want to summarize this once again. I've created an interface, and inside that we have one abstract method and we have one default method. So default method is the method which has a body, and abstract method is the one which doesn't have any body. So we have both of these methods. After that, I've created a class called as rectangle, and I've inherited this particular interface using the keyword implements. After that, I've created I haven't created anything, sorry. I've used this particular abstract method, and then inside the main method, I've created an object of this particular class, and then I've called both of these methods, and here you could see the result. I guess now you might have understood what the default method is in an interface. Now there is another update in Java 8, which is we can use the static method in an interface. Let's check that right now. I'm removing this example, and let's look at another example, because this example is, I've used this example a lot of times and it is boring. So let me create an interface called as vehicle now. So we've created an interface called as vehicle. Now inside this, I'm gonna create a static method. Static method. I think many of you might be aware of what a static method and what a static keyword is. If you're not aware of that, please do check my video on that. Static int. Let's talk about horsepower now. So in order to calculate the horsepower of a vehicle, we need the RPM of a vehicle and we need the torque of a vehicle. Now, inside this particular method, let's return these values. Return. So in order to calculate the horsepower of a vehicle, we need to multiply RPM and torque divided by 5252. This is how we calculate the horsepower of a vehicle. So here we have created a static method inside this particular interface. Now, if we go to the main method, vehicle, I think I've told this before. In order, like if you watch the static keyword video, you'll come to know that you need not create an object in order to access a static method. You can straightly access it through a class name, or here you can access it through the interface name. So vehicle.horsepower, let's give the values 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm just giving some random values 5, 6, 7, 8. No car or no vehicle is going to have this much horsepower. So we need to put this semicolon here, and if you run this particular program, oh, I have to print this. I forgot. Yes. Now, if I run this program, you could see 2535. Yeah, I think we have vehicles with this horsepower. I thought I gave some big numbers, but yes, we can have horsepower of this much. Yeah, it is possible. I think we have vehicles which have more than this horsepower. Okay, so anyways, coming back to the topic. So this is how we can use a static method inside our interface.
Hope you clearly understood everything about what interface is. If you haven't accessed the playlist yet, please do access it right now. The link is in the description box below. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. We'll meet in the next one.